Today I'd like to share a little bit about how I came to do yoga. I discovered yoga, I was introduced to yoga I should say, when I was about 9 years old, funnily enough. I was a selective mute when I was a child, and if you don't know what a selective mute is, basically it's someone who chooses not to speak in certain situations, so they selectively mute themselves. And I would do this in public places. I wouldn't speak in public, at school, when we went out. I would speak at home, but as soon as I was out of the family home, I would basically clam up, and if I did have to speak, I would only whisper. So this was a big problem, obviously, and my mum, bless her, took me around to a whole lot of different child psychologists and eventually took me to see a speech therapist. And as part of my treatment with this speech therapist, she taught me the salute to the sun, which for anyone who does yoga would know that that's a very popular and well-known yoga sequence. And so I remember doing this sequence of movements in her treatment rooms when I went to see her, and that was my first experience of yoga. And then I really didn't think about it. Once I started speaking again in public, thankfully my treatment worked, and I went on to live a normal life as a teenager in high school. And I do remember yoga was offered as a sport at high school. I never chose it. I just was like, oh yeah, yoga, I'm not really interested. I was into fencing, so that was my sport. And then when I was about 20, my parents were interested in starting yoga. They'd seen a friend of theirs, this woman in her 90s, had been on Today Tonight and talked about how she was practicing yoga. And this kind of inspired my parents to want to start a yoga practice. And so I offered to find them a yoga school that they could go and do yoga classes at. And in that process, I rediscovered yoga as well. And that's when I fell in love with Riojo Yoga, which is the style of yoga that I now teach. And so I've been practicing this style of yoga for over 25 years now. I did my teacher training back in 2007. I've done some other teacher training along the line as well. And I've been teaching here in the Barossa Valley, where I started the Centre of Ki Yoga back in early 2013. I really enjoy teaching yoga. It's something I still do every day as a daily practice for myself, or most days. I honestly can say that I don't practice every day, although I do miss it when I miss a day. So yeah, that's a little bit about my yoga journey, how I came to find yoga. But there's a lot more to it than that. I specifically love yoga because it just keeps me so grounded. It keeps me feeling healthy and strong. And it's gradually enabled me to deepen and make a more consistent meditation practice as well, which has just enabled my life to become so much more richer and fulfilled. So that's it in a nutshell. If you're interested in yoga, I have a yoga channel, YouTube channel, the Centre of Ki. I have lots of yoga videos there for free, which you can take a look at and do it at home in the comfort of your home. So please check it out. Let me know how you go, leave a comment or get in touch by some way. Email is good as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in another video real soon.